Hello, all you beautiful people out there. My name is Serotonon, and I have finally figured out that I want this to be my intro. I think it's good. I think everybody is beautiful, and I think it's important to remind yourself that there's a motorcycle on my street, and that and that you being a person is enough. And I think that I don't have to type my microphone. That's enough for everybody. So I'm glad to see you all here today with me. Thank you. Today we have a game. Called the Peresmeshnik. I hope I'm saying that right. An original interactive narrative by Sean Arnold. And I am pretty excited to see what this is about. For the best experience, please use headphones. Yeah, I got volume on. I'm going to turn up my headphones. November 9th, 1962. Oh, is this like a little text kind of base game? I'm just going to move my microphone right here and hope that I can see over it. Boop. Just gonna move my microphone. Okay. I think that might be a lot better. Your name is Vektor Pavlov. You are an oceanographer aboard the Soviet frigate, the Peresmeshnik. You have been tasked with mapping the ocean floor of a region in the Arctic Sea. I'm Itchy. You are currently sitting on the cot in your personal quarters. It is a small room, but just enough space for a bed and a small desk. A torn envelope lies on your desk. Oh, it's one of these. I can click the words. A torn envelope lies on your desk. You're fiddling with a small silver locket containing a picture of your wife and daughter. What does the envelope say? Ooh. The envelope has been torn open without much care. There is a letter inside. Dear Vekta, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I haven't seen or heard from you for months. I understand that the work you do is important, but you should be here. If not for me, then for Maya. She needs a father. I wanted it to be you, but you left. I know the Union needed you, but I wish you had stayed when I asked. Since you left, Leonid has been coming by more often. Oh, she cheating on me while I'm away at war. He's helping me raise Maya. Just the other day, she called him father. I wanted to correct her, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. Oh, betrayal. Because in some ways, he is her father. He's always been there. And you haven't. She's replacing you with him. I still love you, but you're losing Maya. Please come back. With love, Uliana. Bro, step in and step up, ma'am. Your man is away on sea. You grab the notebook and leave the room. You head towards the mess hall where the rest of the crew is eating dinner. When you arrive at the door, you hear loud, muffled voices on the other side. You may enter whenever you are ready. I'm not ready. Okay, I'm ready. You open the door and grab some food. Tonight, it is mashed potatoes and peas. All right. You sit down at a table and open up your notebook. There is a chart of the nearby sea inside. As you look over your notes, there's a loud burst of laughter from the crew. Oh, I could choose between looking at the chart and the laughter, huh? Let me look at the chart. The charts are maps of the ocean floor that were made using sonography. Something about the charts of this region doesn't make sense to you. In the charts, there is a large body of mass at the bottom of the ocean that doesn't look like any natural formation you have ever seen. This alone perplexed you, but the second chart you made showed that the mass moved. Ooh. To be safe, you made a third chart, but in the final chart, you saw what appeared to be a chunk of mass break off from the main body. The shape of the mass does not look like any known animals, and there is no information on any plant-based life that could move that fast. You aren't sure if you accidentally discovered a new species of aquatic life or if your sensors are on the fritz again. There's spookiness. Alright, the laughter. At the other table, the crew is laughing at Yurenev, who has 2 different plates for his peas and potatoes. A bellowing laugh fills the room. You look over and see Oborev, who is grinning ear to ear. Uranev begins gesturing towards his plates. Okay, Uranev. Uranev Ruslanovich. Uranev Ruslanovich is a deckhand on the Peresmeshnik. He joined the Soviet Navy at a young age, mainly for the free grub and the pay. He has a mild case of brumotactilophobia, also known as the fear of different foods touching. Oh, that's a word for it? Ooh. This fear often makes him the target of ridicule from other crew members. Aw. Oborev. Oborev Denisovich is the resident mechanic for the Peresmeshnik. He's been working on the Peresmeshnik for 6 years and has grown to be very fond of the ship. You once heard him cooing at the ship's engine when you walked by the boiler room. He has a very large build, but he's very he's very friendly. You have not talked to him much, but you could see that Oborev was a very jovial person. The others seemed to enjoy talking to him. He is one of a kind. No one could replace him. All right, plates. It is very simple. Pea here, potato here. Pea never touch potatoes. Uranev attempts to explain anxiously. It abomination. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong, Yuri. Hold up. Do you hear that? Mortar fire. Oborev flings a few peas into Uranev's mashed potatoes. No, don't do that. Yacha. Why you do this? The room bursts into laughter as Uranev scrambles to pick the peas out of his potatoes. Tell Oborev to lay off. Uranev, say nothing or leave. I'm going to tell him to lay off. Be nice. Come on, Chuvak. It is all good fun. Yuri is good guy, Oborev replied with a chuckle. After exchanging a few words with some of the crew, you wrap up your meal and leave the mess hall to go back to your room. When you get to your personal quarters, you sit down at your desk and begin to look over your notes and the charts of the region. After a few hours, you notice your eyelids grow heavier and heavier. You start to think about sleep. Go to bed. You crawl into bed and begin to fall asleep. Can't scream right now. You are deafened by an awakening scream, but you are also awakened by a deafening scream. You clamber out of bed and rush towards the source. You arrive to find a stunned Oborev, mouth agape and eyes wide open, staring into a supply closet. Look inside. As you get closer to the closet, you are hit with a pungent smell. You slowly peer inside and your jaw immediately drops. The walls are drenched in blood. Intestines are strewn about the shelves like ornaments, and blood pools on the floor. You want to look at the intestines and you realize something terrible. It's human. You feel your stomach churn as you stumble backwards. Gagging, you lean on the wall for support. A torrent of footsteps is heard as the other crew members arrive. After a few minutes, the entire crew is at the supply closet. You recollect yourself and begin to observe the others. Some of the crew grab Oborev, still frozen in shock, and attempt to pull him away from the scene. Others gather in small groups and begin whispering. It probably just animal, right? Think, Yuri! Another crew member interjects. Does that look like animal intestine? No! You wait for more of the crew to arrive. Soon, Captain Stepanov arrives and demands an explanation. As you look at the 13 crew members around you, you notice one odd detail that stands out to you. Ooh, no one is missing. Ooh, there was a copy aboard with us, perhaps. Something killed and took away the body of somebody else. Okay, Captain Stepanov. Captain Ramir Stepanov is the commanding officer of the Peresmeshnik. He rarely ever fraternizes with the rest of the crew, and instead prefers to sit in his quarters alone, drinking the night away. Other than that, you do not know much about the captain. Other than he stays out of your way, and you stay out of his. Call it out that no one is missing. The captain frowns as you explain that the blood came from a human, but no one on board seems to be missing. What are you suggesting? That this is from one of us? He gestures towards the pooling blood in the supply closet. That is... You cut in gruffly as he tries to dismiss you. We are only humans for miles. It could come from no one else. The captain lets out a deep sigh and covers his face with his hand. He waits a few moments before turning to face you again. Yomoyo, What do you suggest then? Run tests on the blood. Stepanov gives you an incredulous look. Blood tests. Is this necessary? We don't have a lot of testing kits. I don't want to waste kits on hunch. It will put the crew at ease. The crew is on edge. If nothing else, blood tests will let them think we have a plan of some kind. It will help them put at ease and do wonders for morale. You wait for Stepanov's response. Captain Stepanov squints as he thinks it over. Oh, paranoia is at 19 now. Ooh. After a few moments, he reluctantly nods to you and then turns to address the crew. Vector will perform tests on blood. Until we get results, everyone will be in mess hall. As the crew heads towards the mess hall, you grab a sample of the blood and head to the medical room. You grab a blood test kit and the medical files for all of the crew members. You plan to use blood type to narrow down suspects. You start the test and begin logging the blood types of each crew member. As you are doing this, the first step of the test is completed. Begin the second step. You start speculating about where the blood could have came from as you wait for the results of the test. Was it Stepanov, or was it okay. I thought it was gonna, okay. Was it Oborev? It couldn't be Uranev's. Was it Oborev? Who could it be from? Was it Oborev? Who could it be from? Why was he standing there? Yeah. It couldn't be Uranev's. Okay, so it's the same thoughts over and over again. Okay, finally the results. As soon as the test is completed, you compare it to the testing manual. The blood type is somewhat rare. A negative. You scan your notes of the crew's blood type and find that only 2 crew members have this blood type. Oborev Denisovich and Uranev Ruslanovich. Report to the mess hall. As you walk to the mess hall, you try to make sense of what you are even trying to say. If any person lost the amount of blood that was in that room, they would be dead. But you saw both Oborev and Uranev at the supply closet. It couldn't be from one of them, could it? You arrive at the door to the mess hall. Open the door. You enter the mess hall first. You enter the mess hall to find the crew waiting for you. Some are eating breakfast. Others still seem to be in shock. Captain Stepanov looks up at you as you walk in. Well, Vector, what did you find? You look around the room and spot Oborev, who is sitting at a table, arms crossed and staring straight ahead. Okay, next to him is Uranev, who is eating leftovers from a plate in front of him. The plate contains both peas and potatoes. It was Uranev who doesn't eat things together. Wait a second, yeah. You notice that Uranev is eating potatoes and peas on the same plate despite his fear of foods touching. You watch him eat a few spoonfuls and are shocked to see him eat both foods in one bite. Vector! Why now? He never eats food together like that. What's changed? Vector! An angry Captain Stepanov interrupts your thoughts. You look around to see the entire crew staring at you, waiting in anticipation for the results. We're waiting. Call out Uranev. Yeah. Yuri. Your peas touch potatoes? And you still eat? As you speak, Oborev comes out of his daze and begins to stare at Uranev. The room is overcome with a deathly silence as the crew processes this information. Uranev scoffs and looks around at everyone before answering. Yeah? So? So? The real Yuri has fear of food touching. He hates for peas to touch potato, Oborev exclaims. Oborev slowly stands up. Oborev's massive build looms over the much smaller Uranev as he steps forward. You're not him. You're not really Yuri. I knew something took a copy and killed one of them. You're not my friend. Oborev lunges at Uranev, clasping his hand around Uranev's neck. The rest of the crew rushes towards Oborev to stop him. As the crew tries to pull Oborev away, Uranev lets out an unearthly scream, and his eyes roll into the back of his head. Uranev's body begins thrashing as a black liquid begins oozing out of his eyes. His body contorts unnaturally as it begins transforming into something not of this world. The crew backs Sorry. The crew backs away in fear as they watch Obarev struggle with the thrashing Uranev. After a few moments, Uranev's body goes limp. Suddenly, a tangle of jet-black tentacles sprout out of Uranev's back. Some of the crew let out a terrified yelp as they scramble for the door. The creature lets out one last shriek before slashing Obarev's leg with its tentacles and scurrying off, escaping through one of the vents. The crew looks towards the vent, confounded by the horror they just witnessed. After a few moments, a crew member runs over to Obarev and begins to treat his leg. There is some shouting to your left. You turn to see another crew member lying on the floor, blood spurting from his neck. A few people put him on a gurney and cart him out of the mess hall. As you come to your senses, you begin to come up with a plan. We need to evacuate. We have to abandon ship. We have to abandon ship. Take lifeboats and get out of here. Captain Stepanov stares blankly ahead, almost as if in a daze. As you speak, he looks at you blankly. Slowly, he begins to shake his head, his blank expression gradually turning to anger. First off, Vector, you are not captain. I am. Second, we can't abandon ship. Not because of some animal. That was not just animal. That was a monster. It was Yuri. It replaced him. It could do it again. How do we know there isn't another one among us, Vector? If we bring it with us, the situation is the same. Ooh. We get to choose to leave Obarev behind. Ooh. Because Obarev had the negative type blood. But that just means that Yuri's blood was all over the walls. That doesn't mean anything. Right? Unless it, wants to take negative type blood people. I think we bring everyone. I don't think that's enough evidence. We bring everyone. The blood we found was A negative. Obarev is the only crew member with this blood type now. But he is in shock. He isn't acting strange. We bring everyone. No! There are too many important charts and... my Russian accent is gone. Important charts and equipment on this ship. Just to just abandon it. We find creature. We kill creature. That's an order. As Captain Stepanov walks away, he orders 2 crew members to accompany him. You look after him with disdain. You look around at the rest of the crew as the captain leaves. The rest of the crew is nervously fidgeting. Some stare at others with suspicion, eyes darting back and forth, assessing who they can trust. Others are already huddling in small groups, whispering frantically, while occasionally glancing nervously at others. You watch with dismay as some of the crew sneaks away. You need to act now. You know the crew's best chance at survival is to escape before the creature can replace someone else, but Captain Stepanov won't order an evacuation. Obarev is sitting in the corner. His leg has been freshly bandaged and he is alone. What do you do? Ooh. Ask Obarev for help, escape on your own, or organize a mutiny. Obarev for help. We have to take this, methodically, logically. You run over to Obarev, who is lying on the ground clutching his bleeding leg, and ask him if he can walk. He looks up at you with a grimace and replies, "It's just a scratch. It will take more than shallow cut to take me down." Good. Then let's get off this ship. With a furrowed brow, Obarev begins to speak. The captain said, "Stepanov doesn't know shit. We'll all die if we stay here. You saw what it did to Yuri. We stay here and we're next." Obarev is silent for a few moments. "Perhaps you are right. That thing is crafty. And I doubt it replaced Yuri because it wanted new friends. So what do you plan to do? Escape on lifeboat?" "Vector, the lifeboat's motor is broken. I've been working on it. But even if it weren't, you want to leave our comrades behind?" You look around the now empty room and then turn back to Obarev with a solemn look. "Everyone is gone. The monster could have already transformed into one of them. Our best chance was to evacuate everyone after the attack, but that chance is gone now." Obarev looks sternly at you before answering. "All right. What you say is probably true. We don't have any pedals." Obarev chuckles somberly. "That incompetent Yuri lost them the last time we took it out. So I need tools to fix the lifeboat's engine. Follow me. Follow Oberev. Okay. Oberev walks briskly to his room. You follow closely behind, but have trouble keeping up with him. You're amazed that he's able to walk so fast, given his injury. Oh, maybe there's something suspicious about him. When you enter his room, he begins rummaging for his toolkit. After searching for a moment, he faintly smiles as he pulls out a clanking bag. Aha! Here it is. These tools have never let me down. His smile quickly fades as you both hear a strange roar in the distance. There is another shrill scream that sounds almost human. You turn to Vector. Time to go! Oh, I'm Oberev now? He turns to Vector. Okay. You begin to head towards the lifeboat with Oberev. As you turn oh, wait. I don't know. You begin to head towards the lifeboat with Oberev. As you turn a corner, you notice a trail of blood that leads into a room. A look of dread overcomes Oberev's face, but he attempts to reassure you with a nod. You inch towards the door and slowly begin to peer inside. As you look inside, Oberev lets out an audible gasp. Oh, inside the room, you see a pile of bodies in the corner of the room. Your eyes lock onto one of the bodies. You recognize him as Artur, a young boy who worked in the kitchen. His skin is pale white and his dead eyes stare back at you as the creature feasts on his body with his mouth hangs open. It's almost as if he was trying to scream for help. You notice a second creature walk towards the bodies and begin eating. Suddenly, you feel a tug on your shoulder as Oberev pulls you away and begins pushing you into another room. You notice the sign on the door says Armory. Once the both of you are in the armory, Oberev locks the door behind you. New plan. We blow the bliage up. Bliage up. His voice trembles, but not with fear. His fists are clenched and he looks at you with determination. They kill my friends? Defile my ship? I blow them up. Oberev holds up an explosive charge. You look at him with concern. Is that safe? Of course it is safe. You set charges, you get away from charges, they blow up. Safe. Now let's get going. As he turns to leave, you realize that you don't have any food or medical supplies. Wait, we need supplies. Oberev looks back at you. That is true. Alright, you get supplies. I repair ship. An arm bomb. Quickly now. You both leave the armory. No, you shouldn't have split up. Never split up. Don't split up. That was the whole point. The whole point was that you saw him. Oh yeah. You both leave the armory and head your separate ways. You rush to the kitchen and grab some emergency rations and sprint to your room. As you run, you hear another low roar. You arrive at the door to your room. Open the door. You open the door to your room. There is no one there. There is a large knife lying on top of your desk. You often used it to open letters or carve when you were bored. You grab the knife, figuring a weapon might come in handy. You were in the armory, my dude. You could have picked up a better one. You catch a glint in the corner of your eye and look to find your golden locket. It is open and your daughter's face is smiling out at you. You pause a moment before closing the locket and stashing it in your pocket. Head towards the lifeboat. As you run, your mind begins to wander frantically. Maya, I'm coming back for you. Who is it? I have to make it. Just a rat, I hope. Where could I be? Just a rat, I hope. Please don't die, Oberev. Oberev, please be alright. Please don't find me. Who is it? What if he's dead already? Where is it? Who will I tell my daughter? Maya, I'm coming back for you. I have to make it. Where could it be? Who's there? I have to make it. Okay. I'm sorry, Yuri. As your mind races, you begin to seriously ponder. Oh, where is it? Is it watching me? What if it replaces Oberev? What if it replaces Oberev? That's what I'm wondering, because we split. You begin to think, what if it already got to Oberev? What if it replaced him? Will it know of our plan? Does it somehow absorb our consciousness, or parts of it? How did it know how to communicate? How did it know how to act so human? If it absorbs some of the knowledge of its prey, it could have already gotten Oberev and be waiting for me. Even so, the lifeboat is my only escape now. The lifeboat is just around the corner now. Turn the corner. The lifeboat is now in view. Next to the boat, Oberev is waiting. He is anxiously fighting with his wrench before he finally sees you. He begins to smile grimly. As you get closer, you slow down before stopping altogether. You can't help but think about how the monster can mimic anyone. What took you so long? Well, hurry on in. The ship is set to blow in 20 minutes. Oberev stops for a second and looks at you inquisitively. What is wrong? Oberev's dead? Never trust. Attack now. Trust is how you die. He's lying. That's not him. Stab it. Don't trust it. He killed Oberev. Strike now. Trust is how you die. Never trust. You can't trust anyone. He's lying. This is deception. Don't trust. Is it really you? What are you saying? You think that I am that thing? Oberev sighs. I suppose you're right to think so. He pauses a moment before continuing. Not sure how to prove I am not monster. But I can tell you, I hate that thing and will kill it. The explosives are armed. Believe me when I tell you, it will bring great pleasure to watch that son of a bitch burn in the explosion. And that is why I am not monster. I believe him. You board the ship with him. He smiles as you board the lifeboat. I made a mistake, didn't I? See? Not so bad, right? Oberev looks at you with a warm smile. Now, let's get going. He walks over to the release mechanisms and pulls the switch. There is a loud clank of metal as the lifeboat jerks back. However, the mechanisms don't detach. Oberev's smile is quickly replaced by a panicked look. What is wrong? The release mechanisms are jammed, probably because of the cold. Yomoyo. Oberev takes out his tools and begins working at the mechanisms, locking the lifeboat in place. You hear another roar from the other side of the ship. Hurry! Shut it, Vector! I am working as fast as I can! As he works, the sounds of clanging metal echoes through the ship. You hear another roar. You aren't sure, but you think it was closer this time. Oberev looks back at you with a worried grin. I think we got its attention, comrade. You can do this. Keep going. Oberev turns around to keep working. 10 minutes pass by, but it feels like an eternity. You hear another roar, much closer this time. In the distance you see a shadow, growing ever larger. You will look worriedly at Oberev. Oberev, it's coming. Just a sec. Got it! Poyekali! Oberev jumps back into the boat. Hit that switch! Hit the switch. In an instant, the lifeboat is released and falls violently towards the ocean water. It hits the water with a deafening smack, creating a massive splash and soaking you with ice-cold water. Oberev flicks a switch on the engine. With a roar, the engine sputters to life, and Oberev steers the boat away from the ship. A smile stretches across your face as you watch the Peresmeshnik grow smaller as you get further away. We did it! We're going to make... So I think I did the wrong thing, and he's not actually Oberev, but we did need Oberev to separate the lifeboat. Boom! The Peresmeshnik is swallowed up in a fiery explosion. As your ears ring from the intense sound of the explosion, you feel something whiz past your head. You open and close your mouth rapidly, trying to fix your ringing ears. Once the ringing begins to fade away, you look up at Oberev, who is staring past you with a look of horror. Your toes suddenly feel cold and wet. Comrade, there is a leak. You look at the front of the boat and see a hole where water is gushing forth. You come to the realization that what flew past you was shrapnel from the explosion, and it must have punched a hole in the bow. The boat is sinking and you need to get to land now. There! Steer towards that ice sheet. Oberev steers towards the ice sheet as the boat starts to sink. As the boat rams into the ice sheet, you and Oberev both lurch forward. In the crash, you are knocked down to your hands and feet. Before the boat sinks, you and Oberev manage to scramble onto the icy shore. Panting, you stand up and look out at the ice sheet around you. Oberev is next to you, gasping for air. You both take a moment to catch your breath before silently nodding at each other. Well, where is home? Oberev points silently towards the rising sun. Without exchanging any words, you begin walking in that direction. Oberev follows closely behind. As you walk forward... Oh, there's something moving down there. Header. Header. Well, there's water, I guess, there. As you walk forward, you can only think of one thing. Maya, I'm coming, and I won't be replaced. The end. Ah, the end? Question mark. Oh, was that really Oberev? Try again. Is that the proper ending, or... I guess there's multiple endings to it, huh? Like, I guess if we attack or whatever, then maybe we get killed. Or maybe if we try to stage a mutiny, then maybe something else goes wrong. If we try to escape on our own, maybe we do, or we die or something. I'm not sure. But that was the Peresmeshnik, a story about a troubled Soviet Union ship just off the coast. I like that. I appreciate text-based horror games. I've never been one for jump scares or like that kind of thing. The story is really the gripping part. That was a good story. Very well done. But that's everything for now. Kyle, did you enjoy that story? Yes? Good, Kyle. That's all for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.